According to Buster Olney, quote, teams say pitchers are using various types of homemade glue, Pelican grip, spider tack adhesive, or high volumes of pine tar, end quote. So Pelican grip is a pine tar and rosin blend for bat handles. Spider tack is a mix for power lifters to help them maintain their grip on a bar in competition. Pine tar is pine tar, right? And homemade glue is, who the hell knows what that is? But apparently dudes are mixing it up in the garage. So think of it as some sort of, I don't know, baseball meth, I guess. Except to grip with instead of ingesting. According to Olney, they're not using only a little bit either. Quote, the substances being used, said one team staffer, have some players concerned about applying too much to their skin lest they do damage. End quote. Yeah, I'd be pretty worried too if I was slathering myself in homemade glue before every single start. Yeah, I might have concerns about what my skin might look like too. I might have concerns about skin damage. Like, I understand hitting yourself with some sunblock before a day game, but homemade glue? Like, not even glue, but home glue. Like home brew, home glue. Yeah, I'm sure that is pretty bad for you. I bet that's bad for you, but great for your spin rate. You know, like draft glue guy. Like, do these pitchers like invite each other over? Hey, yo, come check out what I got brewing in my garage. A bunch of bottles of glue lined up. Yeah, you know what you losers do? You go to CVS and you buy Elmer's, man. I've got my own. I make my own. It's like the most baseball thing ever, isn't it? It's the most baseball thing ever. These guys will do anything, no matter how ridiculous, including brewing their own glue. They'll do anything, no matter how ridiculous, to cheat and to get an edge. And always remember, the very first two things I ever said on the radio as it relates to sports when I first broke in and I got my opportunity. Two things. I said, scoreboard, look up at it. And I also said, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, and it's only cheating if you get caught. Now, where do you think I got that second phrase from? I didn't make that up. I got it from baseball. It's a famous baseball saying. Of course, guys will always cheat. Always cheat, and will always be one step ahead of those that are trying to catch them cheating. And then when they do get caught, they will find another way to cheat. There will never, ever be a level playing field because somebody will always be cheating. I mean, bring a nail file and sandpaper to the mound, of course. Inject yourself with Polaroids, cool. Bang on a trash can, great. Cover your body in homemade glue and powerlifting adhesive. I'm on it. And not only that, it's like they're not even trying to hide it. Again, according to Buster Olney, they're being blatant about it. Baseball officials have been studying video, and they know where pitchers are trying to hide it. Quote, such as on his belt, on his left side, or between the third and fourth fingers of the glove, or underneath the hat, said one source. They know all the spots. The pitchers who are pulling on the strings on their glove or going to a spot on their belt. End of quote. Here's another beauty. Quote, in a game in recent weeks, the sources say one team say, it was so obvious that a pitcher on the opposing team was cheating that players began screaming at him to stop cheating, and the feeling on the enraged team was they intimidated the pitcher into stopping. End quote. Hey, I mean, why not just go out to the bump with a backpack, a giant backpack, and replace the rosin bag with the backpack? Just leave the backpack on the back of the bump, and put all your cheating utensils in that backpack. And then just between batters, just go to the backpack and load up, glue up, load up, pine tar up, do whatever. You know, better yet, don't even take the backpack off. Just pitch with it on your back. So not only are guys cheating, Man, they're so bad at it that everybody knows. So who's doing it? How many guys are doing this? Apparently everybody, or near everybody. Like, take the case of Gerrit Cole. Cole gets roughed up in his last start against Minnesota. Twins third baseman Josh Donaldson recently wondered if that was because Cole was not using his typical grip concoction. That led to Cole being asked about using the sticky stuff, and that led to one of the all-time great answers in the history of answers. Struggling. Val Kilmer? I was waiting for him to point off to the side and shout, hey, yo, hey, look over there! And then try and sprint away from the podium. A general rule of life, a basic rule of life. If you are asked a yes or no question, these are the possible answers. Yes or no. And anything else is yes. And this guy jumped right into that off the bat. If somebody asks you a yes or no question, either you say yes or you say no, and anything else is yes. Like, you could cut the first 13 seconds off that answer, and you've got yourself one of those Southwest Airlines commercials. Hey, you want to get away? Yeah, because Gerrit Cole wanted to get away in the worst way in that moment. I'm guessing he'd have been willing to chip you off a giant chunk of that $324 million, that contract, in order to not answer that question. If you're asked a yes or no question and your answer isn't no, then it's yes. And if it involves a phrase like customs and practices that have been passed down, then it's not only yes, it's hell yes. And that's exactly where my man went. Quote, there are customs and practices that have been passed down from older players to younger players, from the last generation of players to this generation of players. And I think there are some things that are certainly out of bounds in that regard. Customs and practices handed down? Dude, we're talking about spider tack on a baseball. Not like stories from our ancestors or the family's secret lasagna recipe that nobody outside the family has ever been allowed to see. If you're asked a yes or no question and you start by talking about customs and practices that have been passed down, you better go Tony Plush and shout, oh, I gotta go. That's what he should have done. That's how he should have answered that. If the answer isn't no, I've never done that. You know, if you want to say, hey, come on, Rome, at least he was honest. Yeah, all right. What he should have done is say, oh, I gotta go. And let's not make the mistake of saying that he had a hard time answering that question and he gave you an answer. The guy could not have been any more clear about what the answer was. Listen, it's a bad look when you're among the league leaders in multiple categories and then you have a bad outing. And then an opposing player wonders if you aren't on the grip. And then when you're asked about it, you come up with that answer. All right, now, the reason I'm singling this guy out was, well, the answer. Obviously, one of the greatest answers in the history of answers. But I want to be very clear about this. It's not just about Cole. It's about, apparently, nearly everybody who takes the bump in the majors. Because this is kind of like that Lance Armstrong thing, right? If the guy who's got one of the fattest contracts in MLB history is doing it, how am I to assume that pretty much everybody else isn't as well? If one of the best is doing it, why would I assume that everybody else isn't as well? Like that Lance Armstrong thing. If the guy who's winning it every single year, how would he not be, or how would he be the only one who's not doing it if he's winning it every single year? Anyway, there is a degree to which hitters will allow this, right? In fact, I would even argue there is a degree to which hitters want them to be on the grip. You don't want guys up there chucking a rock at triple digits with no control over where the ball is going, right? But there are lines. And at a certain point, it crosses the line. And apparently it's crossed that line right now. Guys apparently are going to the mound with the sticky stuff and the Pelican grip and the spider tack and the homemade glue. Like, dudes are out there practically with bleeping chemistry sets in order to get that spin rate. And you know what? I got to be honest. Not only am I not indignant, not only am I not enraged, I think it's hilarious. I really do. I don't even blame these guys. If the league's not doing anything, at least not until now, to stop it, why the hell wouldn't you smear yourself with wood glue or homemade glue or Flex Seal or whatever else you can use to get you a better grip. Because if you've got the grip and you can get guys out, then you can get paid. And isn't that the whole point? I mean, sure, it's embarrassing when you get caught. Just like it's embarrassing when you're injecting yourself with Bullroids or banging on a trash can. But that's baseball. That's baseball. Here's your American pastime. Baseball and cheating. And sure, it might get a little bit awkward. I'm sure Cole didn't mind that question that much. I'm sure he wishes he had the answer back, and I'm sure he wishes that Donaldson didn't point out what he pointed out and took that run at him. But I'm sure that he went home and he logged on to his bank's website and he felt better about himself when he saw that automatic deposit of a few mil kicks in every time he throws a few pitches. I just know this. I'm not sure how the Yankees are going to feel about this, considering they're on the hook for 9 years and over 300 mil, and this dude who no longer has the use of his super goop and the spin rate that he had only a few days back. Yeah, have fun with that. Have fun with that. I know I will. I know the hitters will. Man, that scandal is literally the best thing in the sport right now. Cheating is awesome. I only wish I had it in me to do that. I just know this. I will never get tired of the stories of how these guys are doing it and how bad they are at doing it, and that's why that open was so long. Cheating rules, especially when you're not good at it. It was a really easy question. Have you ever used it? Yes or no? Yeah, I don't really know how to answer that. Okay, that's a yes. That's a hell yes.